Going into the conference finals, the Oklahoma City Thunder are far and away the worst team left in the playoffs. The reason why they're the most one dimensional team left, and they're coming off of a 7 game series against the Denver Nuggets that took every single ounce of energy that the Oklahoma City Thunder had to give. Shai Alexander proved everything that I said before. Shai Alexander is going to try to score the majority of the points. They're going to play him 40 minutes a game, and they're going to rely on him to score 35 to 40 points. Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren are inconsistent. They had okay games, but they had a lot of bad games. You could say that Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren had 4 bad games apiece in this previous series. If you can't depend on those guys to show up, it's just going to continue to be the Shai Alexander show. And the Minnesota Timberwolves have a game plan for that. The Timberwolves, from a coaching standpoint, are way better than the Oklahoma City Thunder because the Timberwolves have been making adjustments all playoffs. The Oklahoma City Thunder have pretty much been lining the ball up. We haven't seen anything that OKC has done that has been different from their first game against the Grizzlies to the 7th game against the Denver Nuggets. Their coach hasn't thrown a single curveball in there, and they're just going based off of talent and skill that they do have on their team. But at some point in the playoffs, you're going to meet another team that has everything that you have. That's the Minnesota Timberwolves for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City Thunder went 7 games against a Denver Nuggets team with an injured Michael Porter Jr., who might as well have not been on the court. Michael Porter Jr. last game, every single shot that he took looked off. He wasn't even shooting the ball the same as he shot all regular season because he had a shoulder injury. He was literally doing a fallback fadeaway three, trying to shoot the ball like probably the only way that he could get the ball in the air. Michael Porter Jr. was not even a weapon for the Denver Nuggets. Aaron Gordon was hurt with a hamstring injury the entire series for the Denver Nuggets. They were a shell of themselves as a team, and they still took the Oklahoma City Thunder to 7 games. Last series showed us everything that we needed to see about OKC. They're not championship caliber just yet. Oklahoma City took the Denver Nuggets to 7 games. Going 7 games against the Nuggets with no Michael Porter Jr. and an injured Aaron Gordon is pretty much getting exposed. The Oklahoma City Thunder took everything in their tank to be able to beat a team with nobody. All that the Nuggets had was Jokic and an okay Jamal Murray, and then the rest of the guys on the team were injured. They were injured and or Russell Westbrook, who turns out that he is just an incompetent basketball player. He was the worst player on the floor the entire series. That's what the Oklahoma City Thunder were competing against last game. So when you look into the next 2 series, how in the world can you look at me and say the Oklahoma City Thunder will beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, who've been playing the best, probably the best basketball out of anybody in the league, and then after that they're going to beat either the Knicks or the Pacers? It's not happening. This isn't the year that Oklahoma City Thunder can win a championship. They need to rebuild, stock up for next year, but their guys are too young. Their coaching isn't good enough, and they're too one dimensional as a team. That comes back to hurt you. The Denver Nuggets exposed them, showed everything that OKC had and or was willing to offer, and now this upcoming series, the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to capitalize on all of it. The Timberwolves have been sitting at home for days and days. The Timberwolves have been sitting at home for 5 days, and they've only played 10 total games in this playoff series. So when you talk about an NBA team that is 100% fresh going into the conference finals, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've barely played any basketball, and the basketball they've played has been great. So they're going to cruise through the Oklahoma City Thunder. The difference between Shai Alexander and Anthony Edwards, Shai Alexander doesn't play two sides of the ball, and when things get tough, Shai Alexander will never ever guard the other team's best player and shut them down. He's going to look at one of his teammates and say, "Hey, Lou Dort, go guard the other team's best player. Hey, Alex Caruso, can you guard the other team's best player? Cason Wallace, can you guard that guy?" But never ever will it be Shai Alexander. And that is a constraint to his game. Anybody in the NBA, if their main role is, hey, come out and score, and that's what they're told to do, anybody in the entire league can get 35 points a night if you don't have to play offense, or if you don't have to play defense, and all you have to do is play offense and score. What Shai Alexander does is not spectacular. He's been given the easiest role in the entire NBA to play. Hey, guard the worst player on the other team, go guard a set shooter so you can stay still, catch your breath. And then on offense, we're just going to give you ISO situations and pick and rolls so you can just shoot the ball as much as you want, Shai. How's that sound? Anybody in the league would love to have the role that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's playing right now. That doesn't speak to his talent. That speaks to the situation that he's in. Anthony Edwards, meanwhile, goes to Minnesota. His role has changed multiple times because the way that he was playing with Karl Anthony Towns and the way that he's playing with Julius Randle are two completely different roles. Anthony Edwards has been able to show us, hey, I can do anything on this basketball floor, and meanwhile, I can be the best player in the entire game, not only on offense, but defense too. When the the when things get tough for the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards steps up. He guards the other team's best player. He did it to Luka Doncic. He The Warriors didn't really have anybody out there. But Anthony Edwards stepped up to Luka Doncic. He stepped up to LeBron James. He said, "Hey, I'm going to guard you. If you want to beat my team, you have to beat me personally." That takes him to a different level. The fact that he's playing both sides of the court as the best player on the court, he is head and shoulders above Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I don't think there should be any comparison. There should be no comparison between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards. They're playing two different games of NBA basketball. One's just going to score a lot in iso ball. The other one can do everything on the floor. He'll lock you down on offense and defense. He'll score on your best player and he'll lock down your best player. Give me the second guy. I want Anthony Edwards in this matchup. Anthony Edwards has every opportunity to live up to the Michael Jordan comparisons. If he wins a ring at 23 years old, that sets the stage for what the rest of his career will look like. He could win a ring every 3 years and he could still finish with just as much as Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, all those guys, because he won one so early. Anthony Edwards is looking like he's going to continue to be the most dominant player in the league for years to come. Because when you look at the NBA right now, there's nobody that you're scared of except maybe Victor Wembanyama when the Spurs gear up. Aside of that, Anthony Edwards is already the big dog in the NBA. Every player that he matches up against, he's the best player on the floor. He's the best player on offense. He's the best player on defense. He's going to be the most aggressive and he's going to be the most excited to play. So when you look at that, he shows up more often on a consistent basis than anybody else in the league. Who does that sound like? Michael Jordan. He doesn't need anybody else on his team to win championships, create a dynasty. Who does that sound like? Michael Jordan. He's the most dominant player at a young age and he's feared. Who does that sound like? Michael Jordan. Anthony Edwards is about to change the NBA forever. And he is going to be, Anthony Edwards is about to become the face of the NBA for the next 20 years. And he's going to be everything that we just saw LeBron James be, but it might be better. Reason that I say that it's going to be better, Anthony Edwards is going to be the superstar that we get to know more than any other superstar we've ever known before. Reason being, he is alive during the YouTube, live stream, Twitter, and clip era. So everything that Anthony Edwards says, does, that we are going to love about him, we're going to be able to share that moment with him because social media has changed so much. When LeBron James was coming up, it wasn't like that. It was just newspaper articles. You had to go see him in person, see something on Facebook maybe, and then ESPN highlights, right? And it was fun to take in LeBron James, but there was a mystery behind that. With Anthony Edwards, after he advances in a playoff series, he puts out a YouTube video and he says, "Hey, come along with me for the series. Watch me get ready in my hotel room. Watch me travel to the arena. Watch me walk home from the game." With that being said, Anthony Edwards is going to be the most beloved star that we've ever seen in the history of sports ever, next to Michael Jordan, Tom Brady. Throw Tiger Woods in there. Anthony Edwards is going to be on the Mount Rushmore of the United States beloved stars. The second best player that Anthony Edwards has right now is Julius Randle. No offense to Julius Randle, but he has never been a part of any winning organization up until this point in his career. Reason being, he's playing with Anthony Edwards, who's the best player in the NBA right now. So Julius Randle is a second option. His game hasn't changed. What he does hasn't changed. He didn't get any better. Only thing that changed is that he's now playing with the best player in the world, and just having any number two option makes Anthony Edwards good enough to win an NBA championship. If the Timberwolves are able to keep building around him and keep getting pieces that are actually real number two options on NBA teams, Anthony Edwards can win an unlimited amount of rings. Imagine if Anthony Edwards had an Anthony Davis, a Luka Doncic, Jimmy Butler, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, any of those guys. He would win rings every single year. When Anthony Edwards gets a real number two option, he's going to be unstoppable, and he might even win an NBA ring without one. I will admit, I thought that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's beef was an ESPN narrative that they just blew up. After the game the other day where Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark got into an altercation, you can tell this actually be something real. When Caitlin Clark hacked her, she looked at her like, yeah, like, and you can see Caitlin Clark says something to Angel Reese first. So not only did she hack her, when Angel Reese gets up and walks up to her, Caitlin Clark says something to her and then turns around and walks away. You could tell Caitlin Clark wasn't even worried. She's like, this girl is not going to hit me. And she's just like kind of confident walking away, talking her stuff. Angel Reese was actually mad. I didn't realize that they had beef like that on this level. This part about it, the WNBA only has 8 teams, so we're going to get to see Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese play all of the time. This is going to change the WNBA. People want to see Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese go head to head. It is more comparable to anything that I've ever seen, except Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. People were tuning in specifically to see those two players play against each other. Same thing for Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. They're selling out NBA arenas just to see those two girls play head to head. That's great for the WNBA. It's great for women's college basketball, and it's great for sports. Any sport that is up and coming and that will get attention needs to be covered, needs to be loved, and that's what we're seeing now with the WNBA. Recency bias makes people forget how good Tiger Woods actually was. The fact that people try to compare Scottie Scheffler to Tiger Woods just makes you forget. People forget how good Tiger Woods was. It might have been too long since Tiger Woods was dominating golf, but let's put this into perspective. Scottie Scheffler has 3 major championships won ever. Tiger Woods has 15 major championships that he won. Scottie Scheffler spent 123 weeks as the world number one. Tiger Woods spent 683 weeks as the world's number one. He was dominating golf ways that we've never seen it for over 10 years in a row. Scottie Scheffler is a great golfer. Don't get me wrong. I love Scottie, but with Live and PGA splitting things up, Scottie Scheffler doesn't even always compete against the best golfers. The best golfers have been split. The best golfers in the world have been split in half. And yeah, Scottie Scheffler wins his conference a lot of the times. But what about the other conference? The conference with Phil Mickelson, John Rahm, Brooks Koepka. What about that one? Scottie Scheffler playing in the PGA is almost going to be a disadvantage to his career because a lot of the best players that are playing right now are playing live golf. So yeah, we love Scottie. Scottie's a great player, but don't ever compare Scottie Scheffler to Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was playing when the PGA was one conglomerate. All of the best golfers were in the PGA. Tiger Woods dominated for 683 weeks in a row, being the best golfer in the entire world, undoubtedly, no questions asked about it. We can't say that about Scottie Scheffler. You could ask a bunch of questions. Where's his competition? Why hasn't he won more major championships? Is he going to be able to continue doing this, or is there going to be another Scottie Scheffler in 2 years? Don't get ahead of yourself just because you see Scottie Scheffler win. Put things into perspective. Scottie Scheffler is closer to a regular, everyday, public course golfer than he is to Tiger Woods.